But first, weekend getaways to Wisconsin about to become a little more complicated, and really underline the word a little, because starting today, Mayor Lightfoot says anybody who has spent more than 24 hours in our neighbor to the north will be required to self-quarantine for 14 days should they enter Chicago.
Yeah, Wisconsin becomes the 19th state, by the way, where Chicago travelers are being told to self-quarantine due to the high coronavirus case rates. So joining us right now to weigh in on this is Dr. Christopher Colbert. He is the assistant professor of clinical emergency medicine over at UIC. Thank you so much for joining us, by the way.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, Wisconsin has more than 49,000 cases, 893 deaths in that state. And here in Illinois, the state saw over 1,200 new cases yesterday. So with all of that, does the mayor's decision surprise you at all?
It does not surprise me at all. I think it's always best to err on the side of caution. I think you hit the nail on the head. Wisconsin is the 19th state that has the documented COVID cases that are concerning. And for any travelers that go to those states that are hotspots or have high incidence of COVID-19, it's best to err on the side of caution, protect your families, protect yourself, and quarantine.
Okay, so that said, there's a head-scratching aspect to all of this, and that is that this is voluntary, Doctor. We'd like you, if you're in Wisconsin, to stay at home for 14 days before you come in here into the city. Is there any data that you know of that shows that a voluntary self-quarantine actually impacts the spread of COVID-19?
There's specific data that shows that exposure and contact significantly, if you monitor those, can significantly decrease the transmission of viruses. So in reference to, does a 2-week quarantine have the data that shows that, it's going to make a significant difference? At this point, it's a little bit too early. However, we have enough data to show that safe precautions, specifically contact and exposure, and limiting that significantly the transmission of the virus.
So many people, here in Chicago actually they work in Chicago, but they live in Wisconsin. They take the trains here, they drive here, they work among us. Really, is there anything you can really do about this? I mean, her order is really non-enforceable. How do you tell? And you're just kind of hoping that people, do the right thing on their own.
And that's very true. I think you hit the nail on the head. This is a dynamic process in which we're constantly evolving and making really good decisions and adjustments based on how this is going to affect the community in a larger and broader form. So it's a tough call. It's a really tough call, but you have to err on the side of caution.
We're waiting for a lot of news. The IHSA is going to meet tomorrow about high school players participating in sports in the fall. And we know now what happened to the Miami Marlins, 14 players and staff members testing positive for COVID. Is it just too early in your mind, Doctor, for us to be going back to sports? Should everything just be tabled?
Oh, you hit close to home when it comes to sports. Again, it's contact and isolation. I think that if these teams abide by the suggestions and recommendations, the best we can do is mitigate transmission. At this point, we can't eliminate it. So the question is, what processes are done and what policies are maintained so that athletes can continue to play at that high level of performance? And it's my hope that we can continue and try to expand sports as best we can. But as you see, there's some instances where, specifically with the Marlins, it's just not going to happen. It's kind of like a case-by-case scenario, and it's difficult to put a blanket statement on all athletic teams at this time.
Dr. Christopher Colbert becoming a regular feature around here, and we like it. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.